that way. Well, if you're requiring those insurers to now pay for contraceptive drugs, then you're actually literally requiring the Catholic group itself, which is basically self-insuring and doing its own insurance to pay for that. So you've accomplished that. And the Bishops' Conference has thankfully been very strong and clear on this issue, and has not said, well, we'll wait and see what happens in a year, but has really come out very firmly to say this is not acceptable. And it's particularly striking because Cardinal Dolan has actually now commented on the record saying, I talked with the president about this issue. Not only did the president say way back when remember when he spoke at Notre Dame and was saying, oh, don't worry, I absolutely want to do my utmost to protect religious freedom. Well, Notre Dame has now realized that the president's definition of religious freedom is certainly far different from ours, because Notre Dame just yesterday filed a lawsuit about this law itself. The president also made very clear promises to Cardinal Dolan that he then went and completely broke, saying this is our final the final option I'm giving you all is we're going to you're going to have this attempted workaround where the insurance companies are going to pay for the health care, the contraceptions, and you have a whole year to figure out how to violate your consciences. And I think his hope is that we'll get some real great theologians on it, and they'll find out some workaround. Well, unfortunately, both for the logical reasons of the fact that it doesn't work, and for the reasons of, the Catholic Church teaches what it does, not because it's popular, not because it's in vogue now, but because it's true and because it's been taught at all times in all places throughout the history of Christendom. This is not going to change. So now the question is, where do we go from here? What are the next steps we can do to stand up to this mandate, and how can we encourage our country to take steps back to defending religious freedom? I think I have a whole handout with a list of different ideas. One thing that our bishops have suggested is starting on June 21st through July 4th, there's 2 weeks worth, that there's going to be a fortnight of freedom. This is a 2-week period in order to have increased prayer, have increased liturgical observation, and then an opportunity to really unite in prayer and fasting for this particular purpose. And it's really providential, some of the way that the dates have worked out in these things. So it starts June 24th. That's the vigil of the feast of St. John Fisher and St. Thomas More. These are saints who lost their lives in defense of religious freedom, where St. Thomas More, I think, is particularly, St. John Fisher as well. They're very instructive of what our approach should be. There are many people, when talking about this issue, who will say, well, look, you're taking part in civil society. Shouldn't you abide by exactly the same rules as everyone else? And I think that's not, because we all have to buy these things. Why shouldn't you? You can just get out. You can have it out just because of your religious beliefs. I think the standard needs to be higher than that for religious freedom. It shouldn't be just you have to do everything as long as everyone else is doing it, and there's not a rule against because for religious animus.